Alright, this is for the Filter Fun Tiger assignment. And you click here and you download your Word document, which I've already done, and you click on the tiger image to download that as well. And because mine is screencast, okay, there it is. Now mine already says PSD, so it will probably open up in Photoshop when I automatically click on it. If yours doesn't, you can always go down to the search window and type in photo, open up Photoshop and then just do File, Open. And then you go find wherever your tiger file was saved. Now for the Word document that has the instructions, if you missed doing this in class, it's best to switch this so that it is an editable document, because as is, the pictures overlap each other, but when you switch it, then everything actually lines up and looks good. Okay, so there's just for that. Alright, so first thing with your tiger is you want to go to your image menu and go down to image size and make sure that it is set to pixels. Okay, so there are some other options here. Make sure yours says pixels. And then you're going to change it so that it is 300, and then the height automatically changes. So 300 by 300, and that's fine. Okay, so it just shrinks it a little bit. Now we want to make sure so we can see the whole tiger head filling it up. So you can do a couple things for zooming. If you do Control and then the plus button, that'll do it. Also, you can use the middle mouse button to, Alt middle mouse button will allow you to scroll in and out. Okay, so I want it to fill the whole screen. Now we're going to set up the grid so that we can use this. So we're going to go to, okay, so we're going to go to View and make sure that Rulers is checked. If it's already checked, then you should, be seeing these. Okay, then we're going to go to Edit, down to Preferences, and I want to go to Guides, Grids, or Units and Rulers. That's the one that I want. Rulers, I want to set it to inches, so that's there. The type is to points, which is what you want. Now, go to Guides, Grids, and Slices. And this shows you the color. So in Guides, we want the color to be a medium blue. Okay, the style is lines. For Smart Guides, we want them to be magenta. We'll just leave that. For Grid, we want the color. See, right now it's set to gray. We want it to be, you can customize this for this particular picture because it's orange and black. I'm going to choose like a lime green. You would change the color depending on what picture you're working on, because I don't want the lines to blend in with the picture. And now this part's important. I need to set it from centimeters to inches. And I want to have a grid line every 2 inches. And I want subdivisions to be set to 2 as well. Then click OK. Now go ahead and make sure that in View, where it says Show, I want my grid, and there we go. So now I have, and if I hold down Alt and zoom out just a little bit, you can see there's your grid. That's what you want to be working with. Okay, if yours is more than that, make sure when you go and you look at your preferences, units and rulers, just make sure you've got it to inches, and when you do your guides and grids, make sure this is inches, because if it's centimeters, it's going to look very different. Okay, so now we're going to select some filters. So if you have this little tool here, this select tool, you can click and drag. Oops. There we go. And if you kind of go into a corner, it snaps there. So now I have this little box, and then I can go up to Filter. And there's a lot of different filters you can choose from. I really don't care which ones, I just want you to use different ones. One good thing to go to is the Filter Gallery, because then you get to see what it's going to look like. So right now I have the water paper view, and this is going to apply, and you can tell that it's only applying to that one square because I don't see a whole tiger. So then I can say, okay, I like that one. Okay, good. So now I move over, click and drag. I can drag too far, but if you kind of stick to the grids, it'll snap to it. Go to filter. I could choose noise, let's try, or maybe pixelate. Let's do mosaic, and that's what that looks like. And I could change cell size, really small. So you've got a few options there. I like to go to the filter gallery though, because it allows you to see what it's going to look like. And you've got a lot of different options, diffuse and glow, you know, there's brushes, artistic. So as you see, you have a lot to choose from. And you have 16 squares to fill up. So go ahead and try lots of different ones. Do not duplicate. Okay? Now after you've done that to your 16 squares, the last step is to add some text with your name and period. So I would come over here. There's my little T for text tool. You can choose, you know, what it's going to look like. Color. Make sure it's a color that's going to stand out so I can actually see it when I'm grading. And then the size, 18 points, too small. Let's go with 72 or maybe 60. And I'll type. Okay, so I can already tell with the particular one I chose, this is really large. So I will shrink it down. It really depends on which font you're using. But you don't want it to be really tiny either. So we go Rachel Madison. That's pretty large. I could go smaller than that. Click and drag across it. Or if I just change to different fonts, suddenly it's a lot smaller. So font versus size make a difference. So Rachel Madison, I'll just say period 1. I can use my select tool. Now I have the freedom to move it around, different corners if I want to, center it, and then we're going to add a drop shadow. So I go ahead and come to this FX, drop shadow. There's a color. If you notice, there it is. It's a little bit, there you go. See, now it's a little darker. You just want to mess with these settings. If you see size, makes it bigger. If I see if you make it lots less on the size, it becomes a very distinct shadow. The main point is to make sure that when I'm trying to grade this, I can see that there is a shadow. I don't mind if you change the color, but it still needs to be a color that's visible. If I change my shadow to kind of an orange, I just want to make sure it's a visible orange, because if it's a really light orange, maybe I won't notice that it's there. Okay? So whatever color is fine, just make sure I can see it. Then you go File, Save As. Right now it's a Photoshop document, which is what you need to edit, but when you're ready to turn things in, you switch it to just a plain old JPEG. And just so you know, Justin Bieber, we use that one to make fun of him, so no laughing at me for having Justin Bieber on my computer. Okay, you go ahead and name it Tiger, and then put maybe your last name. You want to label these well so you can find them. And go ahead and you would go to your M drive to save it. Digital media folder, for you would be student. And when you click on student, there will be a folder here. I don't have that folder, so maybe I would go to instructor and save it there. Okay, you click save, and now you've got it. And that will be the file that you turn in Canvas. So we'll get into more in class on how to turn in assignments, but when you go to the assignment, you'll see a little option right here on the right hand side that says submit assignment. Okay, and then you are done with the Tiger Filter Fun assignment.